Hello, and welcome to your Sister in Elections, where today I'm going to be looking at polling models and essentially a prediction by 538.com. And what they are predicting is that the Democrats will win in the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. So a Democratic trifecta and a complete Democratic control of the federal government. Now, what I'm going to be looking into especially is how this has changed over the course of the election and lead up to the election, and exactly how much each uh, each branch of government is expected to be won by the Democrats, and whether it's a solid win like the House or a much tighter race like the Senate. Now, I just want to say that these are predictions, and these are definitely not indicative of how the race is going to happen, and these are not my predictions. These are an amalgamation of 538's polls, experts, trends, demographics, etc. And I just want to also point out that 538 were the most accurate in predicting the 2016 election. They still gave Hillary Clinton a 70% chance of winning, but the fact that Donald Trump had a 30% chance of winning compared to some other ones, such as The Economist giving Donald Trump a 2% chance of winning, maybe even a 1%, is quite astounding how different they were and how much more lenient they were for Donald Trump, who did end up winning the Electoral College and, uh, in general, the presidency overall. So it's going to be quite interesting to take the word of the polling site that had the best prediction out of the main polling sites. So first of all, we're going to be looking at the presidential election that they're predicting, and as you can see, there's a lot of Biden maps here and only 3 Trump maps, which means they have, or they believe that Joe Biden is going to win the election, and the current uh, percentage that they have is an 87% chance of a Biden victory. Now, what I've seen, because I've been looking at this very closely, basically every day for the past 3 weeks, and when I first started looking at it, it was about a 80% Biden victory. And now, given the polls, the national polls have gone up, and the polling data in the very important and competitive states like Michigan and Pennsylvania have consolidated for Joe Biden, you have seen the percentage of a Joe Biden victory go up by about 7 points in the last few weeks. And the only, wins you're seeing for Donald Trump are, his biggest win at the moment is a 342 electoral vote victory. That is, you have to look around this point. I don't know if it's an exact one where he gets 342, Joe Biden. But, you're looking at this point, there's ones where Joe Biden could be winning states like Montana and Missouri and Tennessee and Mississippi. Joe Biden will not be winning any of those states. However, I think, a much more realistic, chance of victory is something that's going to fall in this range right here. Nothing more than about 360 votes for Joe Biden. And if Donald Trump wins, he is not going to be winning by much. He will be winning by 2 electoral votes or maybe 30. And if you want to look at, just going to skip past this because I go over this in quite a few of my other videos, but you see these 3 states, Wisconsin, Michigan is more likely to go to the Democrats than Nevada at this point. That is a terrible sign for Donald Trump. But Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan are all somewhat considerably solid for the vice president at the moment. You're looking at almost a 6 to 7 point lead here in Michigan at the moment. And with all these extra states that people are talking about, Arizona, Florida, Nebraska second, Maine second, these do not even these are not even necessary for Joe Biden victory. Only these, states after I'd say, yeah, Maine statewide, these are all safe basically. Colorado is effectively a safe state at this moment. Same with New Hampshire and possibly, after New Hampshire, I'd say these are, actual lean ones. But you can see there's a huge, huge lead for Joe Biden. He's eaten into that 270 electoral vote lead. Donald Trump is going to have to win back all of these ones that are currently tilt or lean for the Democrats and start to win back the likely Democratic states, which are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, etc. However, I just want to bring your attention to this and how it has moved. So you see the closest point that Donald Trump had winning the election was roughly his final chance of final chance of victory in 2016 that 538 gave him, almost a 2 in 3 chance that Hillary Clinton would win it. And, the same point at the start of September, Donald Trump had a 1 in 3 chance of winning the election. Ever since that, it was expanded, expanded, expanded to almost a 1 in 10 chance of winning the election. Those odds have completely fallen for the president. you've seen that with the betting odds that I took a look at, a couple of weeks back after the COVID test, when Donald Trump got a positive COVID test, and as well as the initial debate. But this is very bad. Another possibility that Biden is 95% likely to win the popular vote, which I made in another video. Of course, if you want to watch that, I'll link it in the description or at the top of the video. Now, that is just one of the electoral predictions that they have, and Biden is, favored. He's not clearly favored. He is not slightly favored. The Senate, on the other hand, is now favored. Now, only 2 weeks ago, you were looking at a slightly favored Democratic win in the Senate. This has now moved up into a favored victory, and this is where 72 out of 100 times Democrats will win control compared to only 28% for Republicans. But like I said, these are roughly the same stats that Donald Trump had of winning the presidency back in 2016. So the Republicans still have a good chance of holding on to their seats, especially if Donald Trump can win a second term. Then it makes it even easier for them, as they would only need 50 seats. Now, I've gone over this in my Senate video, which has got quite a lot of views. Almost reaching up to 6,000. Maybe when I upload this video, it could be 6,000 views, but it basically reflects the map that I currently have predicted, and that would possibly lead to a 51-seat majority for the Democrats by winning, Maine, North Carolina, picking up Maine, North Carolina, Arizona, Colorado, and Iowa, which they currently have a toss-up. I basically say it's a toss-up as well, but at the moment they do have the Democrat Teresa Greenfield a slight lead. However, this is even more drastic than the presidential election. The Democrats were only given a, roughly a 60% chance of winning. The lowest they got to was a 57% chance of winning in mid-September. Ever since then, he has expanded, very much similar to the presidential election. And the Democrats now have an almost 3 in 4 chance of winning the Senate, according to the 538 political prediction. And, we'd already looked at how close these elections are going to be. Joni Ernst, Tom Tillis in North Carolina, David Perdue. I haven't mentioned his race much because I do think he will come out in top in Georgia. Even though Joe Biden is currently polling slightly ahead of Donald Trump, I do think Georgia is going to stay in the Republican column at least for 2020. 2024, we could see some changes, but 2020 is definitely looking very positive for the Republicans in the Senate and statewide. And Maine as well. I think those are going to be the deciding states, possibly Montana. I don't think Kansas is actually as close as they are predicting it. But yeah, the main states to look at in the Senate, if I say anything, is going to be Iowa, North Carolina, Maine, and possibly Montana. But I do think Montana is going to be going to the incumbent Steve Daines. I don't think Steve Bullock is going to have enough in the end, but it is quite astounding that they have given the Democrats, not even a slightly favored, which they had only a week or two ago. They have now moved the Democrats' chance of winning the Senate into a favored, a solid favored chance. And I'm going to look at the House quickly, but the Democrats are clearly favored to win the House. As much as there are some toss-up seats, New Jersey second, I want to highlight too. Jeff Van Drew ran as a Democrat back in 2018. He switched parties due to the Democrats' pursuit of impeaching President Donald Trump. And of course, one that I made video, one of my first videos, actually, Chrissy Smith losing the special election back in April or May. It might have been, I believe it was May now, to Mike Garcia, and they're going to do their proper election on November 3rd. And other than a few other toss-up seats, look at Oklahoma's, so Oklahoma City, the congressional district that represents that area, there's not too many toss-up seats. The Democrats are likely to win this by 95%, so 1 in 20 chances the Republicans have of actually gaining control. And they only need 223 seats for a majority. 218, I believe. Yeah, 218. Yeah, 218 seats you need for a majority in the House. And there's not much to really talk about this because Democrats have been favored to win ever since the midterms. There's never been a slight show of wavering from the Democrats in the House. They won the general ballot by 8 points back in 2018, and they are likely going to win it by roughly the same amount this election. So what I wanted to go over is that this prediction model, which is one of the best out there, It showed very good predictions back in 2018. It favored the Democrats to win the House. They did. 2016 also, said that there was a good chance that Donald Trump could win, even though he was not the favorite. He still won, a narrow electoral vote victory. And, this website was definitely the one that said that chance is much more likely than many other websites, Economist, RCP. You can look at all of them. This was definitely the best when it came to a somewhat accurate prediction of 2016. And they are predicting a Democratic government trifecta. Every single branch, the House, Senate, and the presidency, to go in favor of the Democrats, which would be very, very good for them if they were looking to pass any form of legislation. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.